What is up, guys? Welcome to Fantasy Tomorrow. My name is Caleb, and today I'm here to talk a little bit about the NFL draft that just occurred and about some of those rookie tight ends who were drafted who could become viable fantasy options maybe this year or even in years in the future. So let's go over a few of these important rookie tight ends. First, let's talk about Kyle Pitts, who got drafted by the Atlanta Falcons with the number 4 overall pick, which makes him the highest drafted tight end of all time. Now, he is a fantastic prospect who should immediately have a role in the Falcons' offense. It will be interesting to see how they use him. There's a lot of pass catchers in that offense, so that's a bit of a concern with just there being so many mouths to feed. But I really do like Pitts a lot, and I think that he could end up being a top 5 tight end by the time the season is over. Now, there's also some other lesser tight ends who were drafted, none of which will probably have a fantasy impact, but let's go over them just to be thorough. First, Pat Freirmuth, who was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He finds himself in a pretty decent situation where he could kind of find his way into that starting tight end role over the first few weeks of the season. But I wouldn't really, go after him yet, but he'll probably serve as a plug-and-play tight end who is probably on the waiver wires quite a bit, and you could pick him up there. Now, Jacob Harris, he's a tight end who was picked up or drafted by the LA Rams, and some people actually list him as a wide receiver, which is great for fantasy if he's a pass-catching first tight end. He could end up filling that void that was left by Gerald Everett in the Rams offense when Everett went off and left in free agency, and now he's a Seahawk. But I do like Harris as a potential little sleeper. Then there's Tommy Tremble, who was drafted by the Carolina Panthers. He could end up beating out the other Panther tight ends in camp, and he has a potential to turn into a reliable check-down option for Sam Darnold in that Panthers offense. But just remember that the number 1 check-down option for Sam Darnold is always going to be Christian McCaffrey, so that kind of limits Trimble's upside. And then there's Luke Farrell, who was picked up by the Jacksonville Jaguars. If he impresses in camp, he could immediately be the number 1 tight end for the Jaguars and be Trevor Lawrence's favorite tight end, which is huge. But again, don't want to put too stock into it too much until we actually see it happen. So go ahead, take a look at my early rankings of these rookie tight ends, but just keep in mind that most of these guys are not going to be viable fantasy options for 2021. Now, rookie tight ends have a tendency to disappoint in their first NFL season. But if you wanted to take a flyer on one of these guys, maybe it's late in the draft or maybe you're in a really deep league, go for it. Who knows? One of these guys could break out and be the next George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Darren Waller. You never, ever know. But guys, please subscribe to the channel so that we can keep giving you league-winning fantasy advice. Also, like and comment so we can stay in touch with you. Give you the advice that you are actually looking for, and go follow us on our social medias as well. But guys, thank you so much. This has been Fantasy Tomorrow, where you can learn today and win tomorrow. We'll see you next time.